Hey guys, what is up? In today's video, we're going to show you the ultimate buyer's guide on refurbished phones. Are you looking for a guide on how to buy refurbished phones? Well, stay tuned because this one's for you. All right, so we have an article here by Know Your Mobile, and it's a good guide on how to buy refurbished phones or secondhand phones. So most people never think about buying refurbished uh, gear, and this is crazy for a couple of very good reasons. First, buy refurbished gadgets is a great way to kind of help the environment because you're buying an existing device. So one that has been manufactured and shipped from China to the U.S. or from manufacturers. And this saves plenty on carbon emissions and e-waste, which is a huge problem right now, accounting for billions of tons of toxic waste across the planet. And you will save a lot of money buying your next smartphone as a second hand because it's you're gonna get great deals for still usable, really good condition phones. So, excuse me. Basically, you save money across the board and reduce your carbon footprint as well. But that's just the tip of the iceberg because there's loads of additional benefits to buying refurbished phones or refurbished gadgets, and this is going to cover it. So, for people who don't know what refurbished phone is, refurbished phones are not the same as used phones. Anyone can sell a used phone either on Facebook or Craigslist. Uh, it's still secondhand though. So with refurbished phones, you have to get them via specialist retailers like Amazon, Gazelle, or Reeboks. And here's why: a refurbished phone, in most cases, will look and function just like a brand new phone, but because it has been sold either to a user or into a supply chain, cannot be sold technically as a new phone. Um, but it still functions and looks like a brand new one. So it's because of the trade law. It works in your favor, to be honest, because you get to buy them cheaper, uh, and you get a great deal. So how a phone becomes refurbished isn't always the same. It could start life in a shop that goes bust. If that happens, all of the shop's stock, including its phones, will be sold into third-party buyers at discount rates, who in turn sell them onto refurbished phone retailers like Gazelle, Reeboks, and Amazon. Right? So another way a phone becomes refurbished is if a person takes out a contract on a phone but cannot keep up with the payments. So if that happens, the phone will be taken back from the person who bought it and will be resold as a refurbished phone, even though it's still fairly brand new. So refurbished versus new, what is better? Uh, Again, the main difference between a refurbished phone and a used phone is that refurbished phones go through an entire battery of tests and checks before it's resold to the consumer. So, like all phones, all gadgets, even at brand new, when they're first manufactured, will go through a series of tests. Refurbished phones do that. The only difference is they're used and then they're gonna go through a battery of tests again, which in turn makes them will be labeled as refurbished. So uh, what should you keep in mind in buying refurbished phones? So the main thing you need to keep in mind when buying a refurbished phone is as follows: the age of the phone, of course. You don't want to buy a 5, 4, 5, 6 year old phone. The brand of the phone, it's gonna be either Apple, Samsung. Those are the top brands. And condition of the phone, of course. You need to like check the phone if it still works properly. All three will have a huge impact on your overall experience. So if you go with a refurbished phone, refurbished iPhone that isn't too old, say that an iPhone 11 or 12, which is still fairly new, you're going to get a far better support than, say, an older version of iPhone, maybe a 6, 7, right? The reason for this is that Apple's iPhone is much better supported with respect to timely updates than an Android phone. Most Android phones get 2 to 3 major Android updates, whereas an iPhone gets 7 to 8 iOS updates per model. So, yeah. So Google's Pixel phones are much the same deal. All of Google's modern Pixel phones get 3 years worth of Android updates. For this reason, if you bought its 2021 model, you will get support with Android updates up until next year, which is 2024. This is a very important point to keep in mind when buying refurbished Android phones. It is also the main reason why we tend to recommend that our readers go with refurbished iPhones. So that's what they're saying. They're readers, which is this article. So are refurbished phones good? Um, uh, or do they actually stack up compared to new models? The most search question, they can be amazing, and they can look and function as good as new, provided you actually do your research and it's a good model. Uh, but if you want to get the cheapest possible phone, you can go down a grade or two and save money, but there will be cosmetic issues, scratches and bumps, and aging stuff, right? Internally, the phone, regardless of its quality grade, will function perfectly. A refurbished phone cannot be sold unless it has passed a bunch of checks and tests. So, like what I said, it goes through the same exact battery of tests like before a brand new phone is is sold to sellers, right? How much are refurbished phones? So the main benefit of buying a refurbished phone over a new one is, of course, the cost. On average, a refurbished phone is to be around 40% cheaper than brand new phone. So, like, if you're buying a $500 phone, it is 40% cheaper, which is like, how much is that? Yeah, like around 40 dollars less, $50 less. I don't know. So, for instance, a refurbished iPhone 12 Pro Max retails for $694 via Gazelle. You have done a generation to iPhone 11 Pro Max, and you'll pay $434, but you'll have to live with 5G. So, as you can see, it is far more cheaper. All right. So, are refurbished phones sustainable? Around 9,000 phones are thrown away every second. Just take a mental note of that. 9,000 phones every second is thrown away. That's the whole pollution thing, carbon footprint thing. Let's that sink in. So, phones that are in their components are made from all kinds of exotic metals. Some of them, like lead, mercury, and cadmium, excuse me, are very toxic. A lot of phone users treat phones as essentially disposable objects. You use a phone for 12 or 24 months and then, in some cases, throw it away or preferably recycle it. So, a lot of people have developed this behavior that after 1 or 2 years, they're going to change the phone. This is mostly people who have the money, right? But if you're middle class to lower class, or you're kind of broke, you're going to try to make your phone last as long as it possibly can. So, up to go with a refurbished phone over a new phone doesn't just save you money; it also helps the environment because you know you get a refurbished phones. So where to buy refurbished phones? Like we said, Gazelle is in the U.S. Amazon is global. Apple is global. Reeboks is in the UK. So as you can see here, Gazelle, the US is number one iPhone specialist. So if you're looking for a refurbished iPhone, if you don't have the money to buy a brand new one, and then you're in the US, check Gazelle. Gazelle is gonna be your go-to website. So the pros for it: 30-point test on all products, 20% cheaper than buying new. Sells phones, tablets, MacBooks, and more. Excellent warranty, prices, and delivery times. So Reeboks for the US, and yeah. So consider a refurbished phone over a brand new phone if you're looking to replace your current smartphone. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's a video. Hope you liked it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell icon. We'll see you on the next one.